You often say that woman isn't truly empowered until she takes her own money decisions. Why does money still feel intimidating for so many?
To begin with, to answer the first question, no one is good or bad with money. You need to start that journey. It's your behavior, your money, you need to invest. Simple. Especially women, because they've seen in their family the fathers handling it or maybe the brothers handling it. They've never seen the woman or their mothers handling or taking decisions about money. They may have been in the background but never really taking decisions about money.
Money, freedom, or fear?
Freedom.
And why is that?
Because then it allows you to live the life the way you want.
Good morning and a warm welcome. I'm glad you could make it today here at the podcast and our studios. You often say that woman isn't truly empowered until she takes her own money decisions. Why does money still feel intimidating for so many?
To begin with, to answer the first question as to why it is important for them to take the decision and why when they'll feel empowered. What you tell me, I mean, you earn money and then you don't know what to do with it, right? What's the point? Then what's the point of earning that money? What do? You just give it to somebody? You need to know what to do with the money as well, right? That's when the whole loop kind of gets closed. So that's first thing. So that's why it's so important that you need to know what to do with the money, right? Not just earn and just hand it over to someone else to handle. So that's number one. Number two, I think why are they intimidated? I think because they've not been taught what to do with it. They've never been told how to handle that money, okay, right from childhood, especially women, because they've seen in their family the fathers handling it or maybe the brothers handling it. They've never seen the woman or their mothers handling or taking decisions about money. They may have been in the background but never really taking decisions about money. So obviously they feel maybe I'm not good at it or maybe that's not my job, and the conversations probably were very difficult for them to understand. So it's a conditioning, which makes you scared and intimidated about money. Nothing else really. You've not seen it through your childhood. So, automatically you just feel that someone else need to do it, not me.
But you spoke about conditioning. I think as we see in generations, right? Uh, we had different generations from boomers, then we had millennials, then we have Gen Zs and Alpha. Has this conditioning changed? Do you see a
Yes.
change in the conditioning?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You do see, if you see now the Gen Zs, if you see the Alphas, definitely it has changed. Because number one, the number of working women have increased, right? You have more women going out there and working. The education has increased. You have more women who are now postgraduates, and you have more women at leadership roles, right? So now, because of all of that, when you're earning more, you are obviously more exposed to conversations, more conversations around you. You are then more comfortable with money as well. So definitely that has changed in comparison to the earlier. Is it has the change been so much? No. Still, you have more number of people, women working, and more number of women who are more educated. There's still a lot of scope for them to be more financially empowered. I will not say that it's completely 100%, but yes, definitely better than what it was before.
Then do we say it is only with a working woman or a housewife?
It's equally important for housewives as well. Okay. I mean, just because I'm working and I have money in my hand doesn't mean that the housewife who's not earning doesn't mean that it's not important for her. It's as important that even the housewife knows about how to use, they know how to save. You've seen generations. You've seen your grandmother to your mother to everyone saving money. They're very good. In fact, the Indian housewives are very good at saving. right? And in fact, if you see, they're also putting their money in gold, which today, if you
Yes,
see, is
that's
reaping
almost,
they're all reaping the benefits of
yes.
that, right? So in that sense, they know about the basic financial product. What was it that they knew? Gold,
Good.
silver,
Yes.
maximum maybe financial fixed deposit. Uske aage they did not know much more about it, right? So now there are so many options available. So even a housewife should know about all those various financial products. They
Okay.
should also know what are the various products that are there that they can invest in. Equally important, because it's a life skill. They also need to be independent.
So you want to say is that even a housewife being in that position, yes, I think we have seen generations how people, women have been savings a lot there. Uh, but then empowering them is what you have been kind of, focused on.
That's
Your
right.
focus is on empowering them. So there are two factors, right? One factor on independence and one factor on empowerment. So could you just quickly kind of put across what are those thoughts of women being independent and women being empowerment?
Yeah. So independent is when you have the money with you, okay? When are you truly empowered? When you know what I need to do with that money, right? How do I make that money grow for myself? How do I make that money help me with my goals? As a woman, even I have my own personal goals, right? I may want to keep money for my own education. I may have some dreams of starting my own business. Anything it could be. So how do I go about? Do I go and ask my husband again about it, or do I go and ask my partner? What do I do? Right? What if tomorrow I want to take a break for child, taking care of my child? What do I do then? Right? Just because I stop earning during that period, do I again go back to someone for money? No, right? So it's important that I keep all these goals in mind, and I use my money for myself, for my family, and for everyone around.
So that's through independence and empowerment.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. I don't keep going back to my husband or my partner or my father or whoever,
Yes.
for give me my money. I have earned, give me my money. Or if even if I'm a housewife, just because I'm not earning, I mean, then what? Does that not mean that I should not have goals? I should have. I should have dreams,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I think everyone should have dreams. I think
Exactly. So, but how do I fulfill those dreams? Every dream needs money.
yes.
Every goal, every dream.
Needs
Much
money.
as you say that money is
Yeah.
not everything, but everything needs money.
Need money. Right. This is very true. I think this is quite insightful there. Everything, even your goals need money there. If I introduce you not as a financial coach, but as someone helping people find freedom, would that feel accurate?
Absolutely. I would be the most thrilled to be introduced like that. As someone who can help anyone, whether it's a man or a woman. If it is a woman, that's like even better. That how that to help you to achieve your financial freedom. I think that's the most accurate way to
So I think
introduce me.
women could reach out to you in case if they want to kind of understand their financial goals and
Absolutely.
understand how could they kind of draw a plan out and kind of get that empowerment.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we spoke about money, the empowerment, the independence there. Uh, but do you think money is more emotional than some mathematical?
Money is absolutely emotional. I mean, what you read in the paper, and those are financial products, which can sound jargon or which can sound like, a very technical language. But money is, I really feel that money can be a source of great happiness, or it can be a source of great anxiety. It all depends on how you treat it. Okay, it all depends on how you treat it. If you treat it well, if you give it direction, money needs direction, right? Money needs to know what to do, at what pace to work. Should I go slow, should I go fast? Should I be risky, should I not be risky? What to do with it? So it all depends on how you treat it. Now, how you treat it again depends on your personality, right? On your needs, on your goals, on your dreams, right? That's why when we say money, when we talk about finance also, it's personal finance. It's personal to you. It's personal to me.
Yeah. So it's individually personal to each and
Each
everyone.
and everyone.
Wow. Yeah, money has been an emotional piece for everybody, right?
Everyone.
Everyone in the family, everyone who is earning, not earning, too, right?
Absolutely.
But you made the right point there by talking about money needs to work for you.
Yeah.
And you should know how to get that thing done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's where people struggle because they don't know how to make it work in the right fashion,
Hmm.
right? I mean, either they take too much risk without knowing that it is risky, or they don't take any risk at all.
Right,
Both
right,
are not
right.
right.
Both are not right, I think. So, for a woman, when we talk about money, I think even when we talk about money with them, with our parents or with your grandmother or your child, each of them has a different take on what they want to do with their money. I think one, as you said, is attached to their goals. Second is how much independence they feel by owning that money. And
Correct.
third, which I also believe, but I see that lately not happening, or that's kind of needs a lot of awareness, is what to do with money. If you have money, what direction you should do give money so that it works for you. It's been a tricky thing there, because and for a woman either working or non-working, I think it's a big challenge, because they are just not supporting families, or making sure things are in line. But when money is also involved, it can change games.
Absolutely. It gives you so much confidence more than anything else. See, we do not consider the monetary value of the housewife's efforts, right? I mean, if you actually go to pay the housewife for all the efforts she's taking, it might be more than what
Yeah, I think
the, the working person is
is
getting,
it right.
right? We don't see it's invisible.
Yeah, it's something maybe taken for
We take
granted.
it for granted, right? So I mean, having said that, that's one part of it, but then the second part is when you're not you'll see a typical behavior even of working women, when they stop working, okay, for some reason, it could be childbirth, in-laws, parents, n number of reasons, you will see that they spend less. Why? Because they feel guilty. Okay, because now they're not earning,
Haha.
so you'll see that automatically they start spending also much lesser than what they used to spend when they were working. So these are the typical, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, that when you have money, it gives you confidence. Then you don't have to ask someone, right? The money is yours, you can spend the way you want to. So that confidence is what money gives you. And that's the emotional aspect of,
That's our attachment to money.
to money.
Wow. Yeah, well, it's interesting to hear this. So, moving ahead, I think I want to take this segment to the next level. We'll get more about understanding money in later segments. But now, in this, I want to understand more of your original story, how you origin there. I think you started off in customer services, operations, you are an entrepreneur, and then you spent almost 15 years in mutual funds. uh, how did that journey shape your understanding of people and money?
So I think number one, I'll talk about in my family itself. Okay. I have seen, unlike in other families, I've seen my mom very involved in financial discussions with my father. My mother was always involved in the discussions. She may not have earned, but she knew exactly, where the money was getting invested. She would keep discussing it. My father would discuss it with her. I mean, in terms of real estate, gold, silver, FD, all of that. Even after my father passed away, she took charge of her money. Okay, she knew exactly where her money was invested. She would keep asking me, अच्छा इसमें इतना interest मिल रहा है, उसमें इतना interest मिल रहा है, should you put it here, should you put it there? She would keep asking me about it. So I've seen that part, that ठीक है, I mean, you know, that she was involved, and it helped her. She was independent throughout till the last day of her life. Okay, so I've seen that part. Now, when I started working in customer service, being especially in the mutual fund, we would have investors calling us and, you know, speaking to us all the time. So I would see that there were very few women callers.
Oh, it's a,
Firstly, okay, most of them would be men who would call,
okay.
I mean, and discuss about finances and things like that. Who were the women calling us? Women who were in distress. Okay, women who have either you know, partner, loss of partner, or, you know, separation or things like that. They were the ones who would call, not knowing what to do. I have found this paper, okay, in my husband's cupboard, and it's given your, the name of your company is written over here, so I've called to ask what is this. Okay, what is this investment, tell me more about it, what am I supposed to do? Okay, those were the kind of calls that we used to get when we in customer service. So that's when I got to know that, okay, women don't have a clue. Okay, insurance, a lot of women used to not even know कि इंश्योरेंस भी है उनका. ओके, तो ये नंबर दिया है, व्हाट एम आई सपोज टू डू, व्हाट आर द डिटेल्स ऑफ इट, व्हाट डज द पॉलिसी से. Okay, so we used to have women walking into the office with a sheet of paper, and they would walk in because the address is given. Please tell us what it is.
So they are totally blank about
They
it.
are totally blank about it.
They just came in and they ask you about, okay, this is
Exactly.
what we have
They were never
found out.
told.
They
They
were
were
never
not
told.
part of the conversation. They were never part of, you know, any such discussion. They didn't know where the investments were done. Okay. And the typical Indian household, a lot of times it becomes a little tricky also when, you know,
We discuss
when we discuss all these
financial
things.
goals and
Exactly.
investments
Right?
internally, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. It's now becoming easier because of, I think, at least in some families. I still feel it's still very emotional and a tricky kind of a conversation.
Of
But
some conversations, as we say,
yeah,
just let it be there.
exactly. हाँ,
You
ठीक है,
know,
ठीक है.
ठीक है, yes.
You know, so in fact, I'll tell you about this one incident experience that I had. We had done a investor education program for for the sailors. Okay, and really at, you know, base level cadre in the this. And I talked to all of them, their wives, basically. It was for their wives. And I spoke to all of them and they were very happy. They listened to all of it. And then they said, मैडम आपने तो बोल दिया ये सब, लेकिन हम जब घर जाके ये हस्बैंड को बोलेंगे, वो हमको बोलेंगे कि क्या करना है, मैं हूं ना, मैं देख लूंगा,
देख
छोड़ो ये
लूंगा.
सबको. Okay, but the good thing is at least they were aware.
They are aware, yes.
Right, so I was satisfied with, at least chalo, at least they know that something like this exists and they need to be aware of it. They may not take any decision, but at least they're aware of what's going around. So
Correct.
even
that is
even
better.
that's a good step.
Good step to
Exactly.
at least going ahead with that. Wow. It's interesting there to hear about, I think, women, as we say, we are a growing economy, but there are certain things which need still a lot of awareness.
So clearly, more
Right.
certainly, more
And
certainly.
is it awareness? I think what we also kind of discussing were awareness is one factor there, but then maybe the right environment to discuss about such products or such goals, right? Because as you said, I think each of us has a goal, and money really helps you support your goal or your dream. So maybe in Indian families we require a platform or something where people are neutral and then kind of sharing something with either the partner or the entire family. It may be financial, it may be something which is
I always say that, you know, in families, okay, one of the biggest issues for dispute is money. Right? I mean, one of the biggest dispute. And why is it? Because we have not talked about it from the beginning. right? We have not been open about and transparent about those discussions right from the beginning. We always, push it under the carpet, or because parents don't want to involve children. And when you don't do that as you grow up, then that becomes a huge cause for, discord and dispute. Right? So, the more you talk about it as a family, the more comfortable you will get about it. Right? So, it's very important to have that conversation with your spouse and with family, with children.
So you have been very closely working with a lot of investors and advisors, right? How is it that they are different in terms of managing the finances or money? And how are we different as a common man managing finances and money?
Earlier on, I mean, things have definitely changed now. Earlier on, it was seen that the women were less risky as far as their investments were concerned, right? So they would opt for products like fixed deposits. That's why you have them even, investing in gold and, silver and all of that. These are products which they know of, products that they've heard of, products that they would have known from their parents. Okay. So these are very comfortable products. They know about all this. So most of the investments would go in that. But that has definitely now changed. And I would give a lot of credit to the advisors in that, right? So the advisors have been definitely talking to them and telling them that no, these are not the only products that are there. There are many more products that are available. So now you change your habit of, moving from less risky and, invest as per your goals.
Okay.
So the goal based investment is something that, as a habit, that I think to a large extent I would give credit to the distributors and to the advisors and the industry in general.
Okay.
Okay, for creating that awareness. And you'll now see that women are now doing a lot of systematic investment plans and, SIPs and things like that. And that has now definitely changed. I would say. And they are now thinking about investing based on goals, based on their various, aspirations that they have versus what they used to do before. So that's there. As a behavior, I mean, I think one of the biggest difference I would say between a man and a woman, I think women are in general more patient. Okay, as far as their investments are concerned. Okay, versus a man. They don't have as much patience because they are constantly monitoring the market. Right? Women are not. They've invested for the goal. They know that this is for 5 years, 10 years, whatever. It's a long term. And they're willing to wait. And they do wait. So they're far more patient than, a man is as far as their investment is concerned. So, and that is the most critical behavior that you need to have in investments. So,
Interesting. So when we talk of the habit, as you said, right? So this is just one thing which money changes, right? If you have money, you have tend to have some habits. If you don't have money, you tend to have a different habit. But in your journey, right, you may have seen people who have money or have lost money. So was that habit which caused them the loss of money, or was it the market risk or something which caused them the loss of money?
it's always the behavior.
Okay.
It is always your behavior that will, that will either help you make money or lose money. Okay, it's as simple as that because you have no control on the market. Right. In the equity market, you don't know. I mean, today the market has gone up, tomorrow market has gone down. Right. You're not in control of any of those things. You're not in control of the policies. You're not in control of any global political turmoil, nothing. You're not making any difference out there. Right. So what your behavior is what will help you in the entire process. So that's what we keep telling the investors also. So you don't worry about where the market is going. You focus on your goals. If your goal is 5 years later, then why are you worried today? You will reach there. Okay? Start worrying if you are nearing the goal and you're still very far from that amount that you were supposed
Okay.
to achieve. That's when you need to, then do something about it. Or the product that you've invested in is not moving the way it
Needed to
has to.
move. Okay.
Right? That's what you need to do. So it is all about your behavior.
Understood. That's a very interesting take, I think, which you have said. I think habits and behaviors are something which do control money. I think if you can make money, you can make money good. You can lose money, you can lose money good. But depending on men and women, I think women are more patient towards money.
That's right. That's
So
right.
I think a lot
And
of
I think they're
audiences
also
will
very
have a different take.
consistent. Yeah. Also consistent. I mean, these are the
Consistency.
two important things that are, for investment. And to make money, you need to be consistent and you need to have patience.
And it's a very good insight there. I think I'm sure our listeners would have a different take and different views. We'll definitely hear them out in the comments there. Uh, but then one thing in your journey, was there a moment when you realized uh, finance needed a human language more than all these jargons?
The first moment was when I had this lady who walked into our office. Okay, she was probably in her 70s, 75, who had absolutely no idea about what was written in that sheet of paper. ओके क्या है ये म्यूचुअल फंड क्या है फंड मतलब क्या है यूनिट्स मतलब क्या है आई मीन शी हैड no clue whatsoever. So everything she was so scared about, what was that whole paper. And I think that was when I realized that firstly, the language needs to be simplified. What we talk to them, we assume we are on this side of the table. We are talking about this every single day, but we are just assuming that that person knows what we are talking about. Right? So that's when we said that, at least I realized that we need to change our language completely. It needs to be simplified. It needs to be more relatable. Okay. And it needs to make the opposite person comfortable and not scare them away. Okay. In fact, the first time I started the blog, Womania blog, where I write on finance and investment, was in 2015. My first article I had written was in 2015, where I told that, women, please take charge of your finances. Okay. That was the first time I realized it, and I wrote that article. Of course, now in the last 11 years, you have so much activity and so much initiatives taken by the industry and everyone else. We have really come a long distance from what it was 10 years back.
But do you
Definitely.
still uh, get people coming to offices like the same case as you said,
Yeah.
even now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
I want to share one experience that I had a couple of years back. Was of this lady um who was inheriting, okay, large amount of wealth. She was a housewife, a homemaker, and coming from a very affluent family, extremely affluent family. And she was inheriting a large amount of wealth from her parents. She was petrified. She was petrified. I mean, imagine the situation. Everyone else would be happy. She was petrified because she didn't know how she was going to be able to handle that kind of wealth. Okay. And she had all the large institutions, banks, everyone who was obviously, handling all that money. But her issue was, how am I going to communicate with them? I don't know anything. These people are all talking in a language I'm not able to understand. How am I going to communicate with them? That was her issue. So I spent some time with her in educating her, okay, about finances, about investments, and, trying to make her feel comfortable so that she can, communicate with these experts, finance experts. So that's that. So what we think of that, very rich people, they may be knowing it all. That's not true.
Matlab, even they require support, they
Absolutely.
require understanding, and even there, the awareness is
Is
very
is
difficult,
low.
is very low.
Is low.
Wow,
Is low. I mean, we assume that they may be knowing because they are rich. Not true.
true.
Not true
Wow.
at all.
It's interesting to hear this. I think even the wealthy requires
Absolutely.
a lot of support in
Lot of
terms of
support.
how to things handle
Yes.
and the human language,
And
because
most importantly,
in their language of what they
yes.
understand. Why do women, even the highly educated, as we kind of are discussing the rich and the wealthy there, So why do women, even the highly educated ones or the capable ones, hesitate to take control of money? While you gave me a interesting answer in terms of the awareness is very low. Something more you want to add to that, please?
But I think it's they don't hesitate. I mean, it's just that the conditioning is such that they feel they're probably not good at it. Okay.
Oh, they have decided that I'm done with this.
I
Okay.
mean, the society around is saying that men are good in finance. Generally, that's the perception, right? I mean, even if you look at even right from school, you have more, the quantitative part of it is more oriented towards boys and all of that. Things have changed. Things have definitely changed. Okay, but that conditioning is so deep rooted, right? It will take a few more years of women working out there and having conversations. The most important thing is to have those conversations. Okay, that's when they will be able to take charge. Unless and until they talk about it, they're not going to be able to do it.
Well, I think in India we have a lot of MSMEs, and it's the backbone of India as we talk about it,
That's
right?
right.
And there are a lot of women entrepreneurs or small scale industries where a lot of women are employed or they are running their own businesses.
That's right.
So I think we are seeing a
We
change
are
there.
seeing a change there. But even over there, I mean, as an entrepreneur, I can tell you the journey over there as well. It's not just about managing household. If you look at it even from an entrepreneurial, the profit and loss statement, simple thing, forget all that. Taxation. How many of us know, even working women, what is your tax components, your tax breakup? Okay, I do sessions only on that. Okay, HRA क्या है, आपका LTA क्या है, which tax bracket do you fall in? Even that basic elementary knowledge, okay, we are hesitant to know because we are generally very, अरे ये सब boring है. To some
Ha ha
extent,
ha
it
ha.
is also.
It is. It is. It
To
is.
some
Yeah.
extent, it is also.
Hmm.
But it's important,
It
na?
doesn't sound interesting to get into a deep dive of
You will
what my
only do
Form
it
16 is.
exactly. Exactly. You only do it when you're pushed against the wall,
Yeah,
right?
or something. Oh, I'm paying so much of taxes.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
what's happening?
Exactly. That also they want to push it on to the chartered accountant or the
हाँ
advisor
या
कि देख लो तुम देख
तुम
लो.
देख लो क्या
हाँ,
है करके वो क्या
हाँ,
देखेगा
हाँ.
या
Right?
wow
So there are all these they find it probably boring, probably intimidating. So basic thing is taxation. So for an entrepreneur, your GST, there's so many elements, your PNL, your all this, you need to have awareness of all of this, right? As an entrepreneur also. So yeah, I mean that conversation needs to happen. So a lot of support is given even in the MSME to the women to learn all these things. A lot of efforts are happening on that front as well. Important for them to know that also.
I'm sure I think there the importance is much higher in case of there's a lot of transactions of money happening
Yes,
and in case of
yes.
they have unaware of such things it can cause compliance issues and maybe
Absolutely.
risk of their own
Absolutely.
assets
Absolutely. Absolutely.
but uh, when we talk of you deal with a lot of women in terms of helping them in terms of coaching also or in terms of getting them aligned with their goals. So any one strong story or emotional story where you have helped somebody and it had really changed for her where she was earlier, could you share some?
So, in terms of coaching, as I told you, one was that affluent woman who was completely scared of how to communicate with the all the bankers and the institutions whom I had to coach and helped her through that entire journey. And now she's on her own; she's handling all of that. So that's one end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, also was this lady who is actually what do you call an attendant to one of my friend's mothers, takes care of her. She's a caregiver and she's working at in their house. So she came to me just before COVID. And she said that, Madam, मैं आपको सुनती रहती हूँ because I advise her, my friend also. ओके सो आप दीदी को हर बार इन्वेस्टमेंट के बारे में बोलते रहते हैं, तो मुझे भी हेल्प करना आप. सो ऐसे ठीक है, करते हैं कुछ. सो आई गॉट स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग टू हर. आई सेड व्हाट डू यू वांट टू डू, व्हाई आर यू इन्वेस्टिंग इन ऑल ऑफ दैट. शी सेड दीदी पहले तो मुझे, हमारा गांव में घर बन रहा है, तो मुझे वो घर के लिए कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट करना है. ओके सो ऐसे ठीक है, तो कुछ स्टार्ट करते हैं. सो शी स्टार्टेड पुटिंग छोटा छोटा अमाउंट्स as an SIP. I said start with 1,000, 2,000, whatever. And luckily for her, she started just pre-COVID, and the markets also tanked, but she consistently kept putting money month after month for 2-3 years at least. Okay, but the turnaround post-COVID, where the markets really rallied and her money did well for her. एंड देन वन डे शी केम टू मी एंड सेज मैडम मुझे पैसा चाहिए, वो घर के लिए कंट्रीब्यूट करना था. I mean, touchwood for her, the money did well because of she put it at the low end and she removed it when the markets rallied. Money literally doubled for her, and she removed the money and she contributed for the home at her village. So she was very, very thrilled with that entire, the fact that she was able to give money for building that home, in her village. So that is the other instance. She didn't stop after that. So now when she came back to me, she said, "Didi, मुझे डालना है, ये मेरे लिए है."
Oh, the goal is changed now.
Now it's changed.
Very
Right?
nice.
She said that दीदी ये मेरा retirement के लिए है.
हाँ.
So now she's increased the money also, and now so see the thing, okay? She knows that I need to put it for myself.
Yes.
Okay, for my retirement.
And that confidence is there in her.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
habit, consistency, the habit, and she understood that the outcome is
Exactly.
positive.
That it has helped her.
And it helped her.
Exactly.
A lot of women who need to do this, I think, even men, I think everyone needs to do this. And I think we need to kind of jump in to realize that, where are we going? And then kind of take that call about, but as you said, goals. It's all about goals. I think, what goal are we doing investment for? So that's where, many times even I strongly, were believing that, investments, जब हम किससे बात करते हैं, it's kind of too much of a jargon and too much of selling piece, and a lot of time, when we talk to somebody, we feel that, this product or this kind of an investment may not be great for us. But I think we tend to miss out on what is our goal. First, we should position our goal and then kind of connect with.
Absolutely. See, that's what I was saying, that money needs direction. It's a journey. See, the whole thing starts from the day you earn till the last day of your life. Right? There's not going to be a single day when that discussion about money is not going to happen.
Even at the end of the day, it's going to happen there.
That's the only discussion happening.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
How do you start your journey? You start your journey with first a destination, right?
Yes.
Right? So start with the goals. What do you want the money to do? For what are you investing? घर चाहिए, गाड़ी चाहिए, travel करना है, क्या करना है? Then you decide how fast you want it to go, or how slow you want it to go, or whatever.
But then this is also a point where, making investments very simple for humans. I think, have we failed? Because yes, now we are seeing a lot of awareness, but still this gap is huge. If you ask me, the gap is still huge. Not that we are not educated. A lot of people who have, because of internet and because of social media, a lot of content being spread across. We're getting some or the other kind of awareness, A matter of fact, even I think I like to put this, my grandmother, who is almost 95 plus years, right? She even has her IG account created, let's say, a year back, because I think she felt bored about listening to more music. So now she sees news in Instagram, right? And a lot of times she's only been seeing all talking about money, because I think as she is aging, right, and she's talking about that, she believes that money should do something better, not just for me, but for if we need to leave, right, it should do better for my children, let's say, basically. So, but she said to me once, there are a lot of things which are cluttered. मतलब बहुत दिखाते हैं, समझ में नहीं आता कि क्या सही है. So why is that investment is still felt complicated? You talk to anybody. Uh, do you have, what's your take on this?
From a situation where there was absolutely no information to
Hmm.
today where there is
This
lots of
it's
information,
overflowing.
it's overflowing, it can be overwhelming. So I do have this the same thing that that you said. I mean, I had one youngster just last month, 25-year-old kid who comes to me and she says, "Ma'am, I am still confused. I mean, there is so much information, but I still don't know much about finances." So it surprised me actually, because from my point of view, I'm like, "Arey, but there is so much already there, right? Why should you be confused?" So I think it's also about what you want to learn about it, right? You need to ask the right questions. Even if you go to any of the AI platform, chat gpt and all that, you have to ask the right question, right? तभी तो तुमको करेक्ट आंसर मिलेगा. अगर सवाल ही गलत है तो फिर सो यू इवन नीड टू नो व्हाट टू आस्क. What is it that you're seeking out over there? Okay, so I would say first, all the various platforms that are available are good for general knowledge. You read about it. Okay, just read for the sake of understanding. But as far as your own investment and your personal finance plan is concerned, your financial plan is concerned, I would say have an advisor. Okay, have someone who can guide you through the entire journey. Okay, who helps you make a plan. At least get someone to help you make a plan. Okay, once the plan is there, then all you need to do is follow up, right? You need to then execute it. Then that's up to you, right? So read the net for general information. It's not going to help you, or it may help you if you are really interested in taking that next step forward. Okay, but if it's not, then get a advisor. That advisor will handhold you, will help you through the entire journey. It's like having a personal trainer at a
Hmm.
very, very minuscule cost,
Correct, correct.
right?
I think it's well point what you said. I think because we, uh, maybe Gen Zs, millennials, or even alphas, right, who are coming up there, uh, we require coaches, we require advisors, we require mentors. I think because even if we have gained some knowledge, we have studied about it, but as we walk our journey, I think there are people like them, who would help us, see a different lens, a different point of
Absolutely.
view about what money could do for them. And as you said, plans. I think planning is pretty much which is not done at all. I
At
think I
all,
could
right?
see that.
Exactly.
It's
Now it's like, see, even if you look at it from the youngsters, I mean, there you have a gym. You walk into the gym, everyone is doing different things out there, right? Now, the people who have a personal trainer would have a proper plan and a goal in place, right? And they're following that path. Versus people who don't have, they're also doing,
yeah, yeah. Correct.
various
They're
equipments,
just
using all the various equipments. May or may not necessarily be reaching, or may not be even having a plan in place, right?
they don't have a
Huh.
plan because the goal is not clear for them.
Exactly. Exactly. So both ways work. But I'm saying that if you know what you want, if you have a proper plan in place, you will reach, the chances of you reaching your goals is much, it's more visible.
If you had to explain investing to a first timers, maybe you could, in one sentence or something, you could kind of give away. What would that be?
Investment, it's a what do you call, well, there is no other way out. You have to invest, you have to save, you have to invest,
Yeah, I
right?
think
It's
that's
it's not you working for money, it's
hmm,
money is working for
working
you.
for you. Yeah.
That's what investing is. So if you want your money to work for you, you have to invest.
Or ideally, it will just lie there and
Yeah, it'll
the
be
value of money would go down.
exactly.
Should beginners then think about mutual funds or long term investing, or it's in particularly, let's say if they are first timers investing? So what is your advice in general, right? should they start off with?
Everything. I would say they should look at some short term, they should look at some long term as well. Right? I mean, I can't tell a 25-year-old kid to think 30 years down the line and 25 years down the line. If I want them to be consistent, if I want them to make it as a habit, then I want them to look at the short term goals as well as the long term goals. Okay, they need to see something visible as well, something that can happen 1 year down the line, something that can happen 2 year down the line. So invest something for that as well, invest something for 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line as well. That's when I will be able to get them to what you call stick to the plan. Otherwise they will lose track, they will drift. you know so if they have to be on track, they have to do both.
In society, we have women who do work, women who are businesswomen, women who are just family housewives, and women who do some kind of freelancing also. But this is one common thing. If we see, there's always, I'm saying from it what I have seen there. You can probably uh, correct me. There in this a fear of missing out, and each of them will have a very different set of goals, right? And plus, when you look at a woman, right, uh, definitely when they were with their parents, I think their set of goals would be way different, may or may not be there also. And when they marry and move to the next house, and that's become their entire lifetime house for them, the goal changes. So does the money change?
The goal may or may not change. Okay, you're right. I mean, when they are there with the parents, they may have envisioned a life with certain goals, and once they marry and then they are go with the husband, obviously the goals will, then they have different sets of goals along with their husband, and that carries together. And but also at the same time, depending on their priorities, depending on what they want to achieve, and of course it could also differ from person to person. Some may be able to, if persistent, they may be able to carry on the earlier goals as well. Some unfortunately may then have to pivot into a newer goal, or leave the earlier goal aside and carry on further. That could be happening. I'm sure a lot of women would have to face that. But of course it all depends on how they prioritize themselves, and how they're able to then persist going forward. I think that mainly would be the reason for that.
But then, definitely, as you said about goals getting changed, uh, so there are a lot of women out there who, as we talk about the habits, the goals, and the discipline which they require today. While the awareness, now we have a lot of information out there, kind of overflowing, and we talked about how they would require to uh, have a mentor or have a coach or have at least an advisor for they could relate to, talk to, and understand, right, which either a market product or a certain kind of investment product will help them. So I've seen that your blog or your website, womania.com, I think was born to simplify finance for women. Do you feel that there is more to be done, and how womania.com would help women?
Oh, there's so much more that can be done. So much more. I mean, in fact, right from, I think teaching, but see, I believe that it's a life skill. Okay. The knowing about finance, knowing about investing, personal finance, it's a life skill. You cannot not know it. You cannot afford to not know it, right? You need to be involved. I'm not saying you need to take decisions necessarily. Don't do it if you're not interested, but at least know about it. Itna to at least you should be aware of it, you should be informed, be well informed. Bas utna to karo. That's the first step. Then the next step is taking decisions. Okay, so I think to at least be informed that the first step, okay, I think it can, in fact, that's what I think, if the industry and the government and everyone is trying to do that from the school level itself. They're trying to include that as part of the curriculum in the school itself. So once that gets done and implemented, you'll see the next generation would be definitely far more, informed than the current generation or the generation before that. So I think that once that is done, you'll see a huge difference in the entire conversation
And I
itself.
think great. So I believe that your blog, womania.com, is kind of a storytelling platform where you want
That's
to kind of
right.
stitch the finances and also help bridge this gap.
That's right. Yeah.
Uh, More power to you on that
Thank you.
front there. Uh, and also, when you talk of money, right? And when we talk of, when we heard these real world experiences of women and how they should approach finance, uh, goals, I understood. You know, you talked about goals, and I'm sure audience would relate to that goal also. Some checklist you want to kind of say across, something which would help a woman hearing you now, right, on this episode, what she should do. Maybe some pointers like a checklist, so that they could start somewhere.
Hmm.
Would you like
Hmm.
to say that something?
Sure, sure. Firstly, I think, for women who have not done anything so far, okay, see if there's someone who in your circle, anyone in your circle whom you think you can talk to. Okay. So first catch hold of that person, spend some time with that person. That person could be anyone, your friend, your whoever. Or if there is nobody in your circle, then I would say get an advisor or get on board. Spend some time and first understand. Okay. If you don't want to do that, read. Okay, at least read. Start with that first. Then start saving some money. Okay, whether it's a working woman, whether it's a non-working woman, I mean, try and save money. Whenever once you start doing that, start investing. One of the biggest issues that I feel, also women tell me that, oh my, I don't earn that much. Okay, but
Uh,
but that is silly. Even 500 rupees is money. Even 100 rupees is money. Okay, penny saved is penny earned.
yes,
That's
that's
the
been
oldest
saying which we have
we have
been,
been hearing.
yes,
Right? Penny saved is penny
penny on.
earned. Right? So even if it is 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 300 rupees, don't keep that lying just like that. Put it somewhere so that it earns for you. Right? So that, I think, start, read about it. If not read, talk about it. Okay, ask questions, don't be shy. That's why if you're feeling shy to ask somebody who you think will ridicule you or whatever, get a friend, talk to a friend, anyone in your circle who you think will answer your questions.
So you want them to kind of start with reading about it,
Exactly,
talk about it either with your
exactly,
friends or someone who could
exactly.
hear you, and start investing somewhere.
Investing, and don't think that it's a small, no amount is small.
Small. Okay.
No amount is small. 100 to 100, start to karo and get comfortable with it. Once you enter the system, then you will automatically, you will see your own behavior changing.
Great. So
Start
this is
small.
where the woman's journey for financial journey would start off with.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So for a woman and the financial journey which we spoke about, uh, just think the checklist which you said is very interesting. For from from just not the FDs or the gold, any other very minimal product which you want to kind of talk about, which women who kind of say, hey, I am earning very less, but as we kind of understood that any money is money. So something which you want to share with the audience where you feel these products would help them kickstart their financial journey.
Mutual funds.
Okay.
Very basic. There are products. I mean that vary for every requirement, for every kind of investor. Right from an investor who wants to invest 500 rupees to whatever, I mean, limitless. Right? So you can start with that. And don't wait till you accumulate. See, why does the industry and everyone keep pushing, systematic investment plan, which is SIP, so much? Is that's one, what do you call, habit? What is it? It's monthly investment. Systematic investment is nothing but monthly investment, right? Which gets debited from your account every month. So what does it do? A, discipline, right? Month after month after month, money gets debited from your account. So it automatically instills discipline, right? And the math behind it is the compounding aspect. That's the math of it. So it takes care of both. So don't wait. Do a monthly chota amounts month after month. So the mutual funds is the best route for that.
Could you take this compounding piece and, in a very simplistic manner, explain it to our audience?
If I mean your I think 6th class में ये सिखाया होगा हम लोगों को. I think class 6 or maybe class 5 where compound interest was taught. It's the same thing that happens even in an SIP. Okay, interest on interest gets added month after month. Whatever little earning you have on that, again the investment is done, and interest on interest gets added and it gets compounded. So it's as simple as that, right? It works on a compound interest formula.
So it's better not to pull out the money. You gotta keep it so
Keep
that
it
your
invested.
money gets compounded and you keep on earning interest on interest.
That's right.
So that can be your simplest piece for starting off the
Absolutely.
financial journey.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
For a woman, where you yourself have been to this journey, right? You yourself would be investing. You yourself are a financial expert. You yourself are an investment expert. And your goals may have changed, right? You have a set discipline for various things there. Uh, for Gen Zs, what's that message you see, right? When they start or talk about financial freedom and financial investments.
I think for Gen Zs, the one thing I would say is that you need to have patience, right? You need to learn some amount of delayed gratification. Everything cannot happen now. So,
Sorry, I
so and
understood.
and I understand that the thing about FOMO. I understand because you're being what you call, from all sides, right? They are being barraged by all kinds of things, be it events, be it, I mean, products, so much consumerism, right? But at the same time, you need money for everything. It's not limitless. The money that we have is going to be a limited thing, right? So you need to understand that. So you need to think about the future as well. So, yeah, do spend. There's no need to, give up on life, not at all. But I feel more important for them to invest. In fact, if there's any generation that needs to invest more, it is the Gen Z,
Okay.
because they're consuming so much.
So, yeah. The consumption is
So,
quite high there.
yeah. So, more and more important that they are consistent and disciplined with their investment.
So we're moving on to our next segment. We call it quick fire, wherein I'll give you one word or kind of a one sentence, but precisely I'll give you one word, and within one word, you'll have to give me an answer, right? Uh, so let me say this: money, freedom, or fear.
Freedom.
Okay, and why is that?
Because then it allows you to, live the life the way you want.
Interesting answer there. uh, One habit every woman should build with money.
Invest
That's the mantra
for themselves.
for themselves. and their goals.
and their goals and their dreams.
That will build their passion.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think the next one you anyway said it, but I'll still put it across. Savings or investing.
Both.
Money advice you wish you got earlier.
Money advice I wish I'd got earlier was to take a little more risk.
Okay.
Don't be so safe with your investment.
Finance in one word.
Life skill.
So you have helped countless people feel confident with money. What does success mean to you today?
I think today when I see a woman who has achieved her goal, okay, then for me that's a success. Okay. Like I've seen whoever I have coached, a woman who has bought her own house, the woman who has, been able to travel the way they wanted to travel, the woman who has educated herself based on her investment. So these are all when they've been able to achieve their dreams. I think for me that's success.
What message would you give to a woman who feels I am not good with money?
I would say don't think that way. I mean, no one is good or bad with money, right? You just need to be in it. You need to start that journey. I mean, there is nothing good or bad. Okay, no one needs to be good. Why do you need to be? What is good or what is bad? I don't know. I mean, it's your behavior, your money. You need to invest. Simple. Your dream, your goal, your aspiration. How can you be bad with it? You can't be. I tell this to people. It's like a doctor, right? I mean, you go to the doctor doing what? You tell them I'm having this whatever your symptoms, right? The doctor diagnoses and tells you what you need to do. So you don't try to be that doctor, right? You decide what you want. See, most of the women, the problem is we are not clear what we want. You be clear with what you want. I want a home. I want my child to go to Falana school. Whatever your dreams are, right? Whatever your ask, be clear on that. Then your money that will give money the direction. I mean, but I don't expect you to know each and every financial product in the world. It's not possible. There are 2,000 or 3,000 mutual funds out there.
Wow.
Would you be able to learn? Nobody. Even the advisors will
Right,
not know.
right.
The advisors, what do? They study, they filter it out. That's their job. Let them do their job. No? Your job is to know what you want. Once you know that and tell them what needs to be done, they will do it for you.
I think next time when I see or when I hear a woman coming to me, any of my friends, I know what to answer to them.
Yeah.
So, how do you want people to remember the work you have done?
I think I would be happy if they remember that, okay, here was this lady who did her bit in trying to educate women on money and finance and help them with their financial freedom.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
So, women who have been there, done that, and they kind of give you the blessings about, hey, look, I met
This
Usha,
helped me. Yeah.
and this is what I got the help out of, and this helped me. In one line, what does financial empowerment truly mean to you?
When I don't have to ask someone, when I don't have to, when I'm truly able to, exactly do what I want to do without asking anybody. Okay. I mean, when my money when my money helps me achieve all my dreams, I think that's what empowerment is. And I'm able to take a decision of my own without really asking anybody. I think I'm happy. I mean, that's how it should be. I've earned it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, I think it's a very different take about earning money and empowering with the money there. Uh, where we have seen these generations of boomers, millennials, and Gen Zs and alphas coming out, I think we've seen that money stays the same. It has a huge value. It can either have a lot of stress or it can create a lot of happiness to you, but you require money. So definitely, I think to all the audiences and especially women out there, I think they do require coaches or mentors or advisors like you. So when they kind of feel that uh, I am not sure what I need to do with the money, or जब बहुत पैसा है बस अभी क्या ही करना. I think everyone needs to still do investing,
Absolutely.
because money is what will make money for you.
Yes, right.
As you
Yes.
said, make money work.
That's right.
I
Yes.
think it's a very interesting take, and I'm thankful to you that you could make your time today and come to our studios here. I'm glad that we heard, and the audiences have also taken a lot of interesting insights from you. All the best for your womania.com,
Thank you.
and I'm sure audiences would love to also, take a look at the blog there. More power to you on helping women and getting them more independent and more empowered.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Rohan. Thanks for inviting me first and foremost for the podcast. And it was really enjoyable. And thank you so much for all the, blessings and the wishes. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into our podcast. If this episode inspired you, do share it with someone who should hear this. Do like, share, and follow our channel for more heroes like this.